So in terms of what my, exposure was, I had folks from the retrieval program, I'll call it exfiltrate audiovisual evidence for me to see both video and photos. And that was, audiovisual evidence of the retrieved craft, some of the dead cadavers that were recovered, call it the pilots, as I said in my interview with Nancy Mace. Yes, some of it was piloted, and I always find, even though it is my reality, I always feel uncomfortable talking about that because it is such a ontologically shocking thing to talk about the pilots. But what do you know? They look just like what people have reported seeing, like credible witnesses. You look at the Ariel School event in 1994, where 80 school children in Zimbabwe saw what we would call in pop culture speak small gray aliens, exactly the way you think. And what do you know? Some of them look exactly as reported by credible observers that have nothing to gain and everything to lose by discussing their experience.
Right, of course. Have any of these pilots or occupants of these craft, to your knowledge, been taken alive?
Yes, and I know people who have had direct interactions in a detainment situation, which sounds very Star Trek and sounds very crazy, but it is true. And I talked to a former cabinet member about that, who directly worked the issue for a particular former vice president. You can guess which one. Darth Vader.
And were they able to communicate?
Yes. And it is true that some sort of consciousness communication, of course, people call it telepathy.